Hi guys, today I am back with the Lifester interview sessions and I'm interviewing my good friend Demetria Jackson. She is a life coach for creative people and accountability coach also based out of my hometown Toronto. And welcome Demetria, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I remember, I think we connected online. You found my website and I found yours, and we kind of became friends. And then when I was in Toronto, we met up and had some awesome chat over tea.
Yeah.
And I was really inspired to actually find out more about how you started and what you're doing and what your future plans are. And I thought that I should, while I'm finding out, I should also share with my audience. So I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and why you do it.
So I'm a startup coach and an accountability strategist for creative entrepreneurs and hurt people worldwide. And really what that means is I help people turn, their pain, their experiences, their trauma into creative expressions of love, into resources or roadmaps of resilience and radical resources. And, whenever we're going through things in life, I think the best way to help us get out of that is just to create, just to move past it and take action. Because whenever we're feeling stagnant or whatever we're feeling, like it's a crappy day, we just tend to sit around, do nothing, watch a lot of reality TV, really bad TV,
Mm-hmm.
and not do anything really productive. And I think the best way to get ourselves out and to work through things is to just create and be creative.
That's amazing. And you share your personal creativity on your website, which is demetriajackson.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll obviously link to that below this video, so everyone should definitely check it out. So I wanted to ask you a question. I mean, you're clearly a very creative person. That's why sharing creativity is an outlet for you, is important to you, and you want to encourage others to do it. Um, what inspired you to set up the business itself? Like, how do you think that through your work you can help others to channel their pain and everything through creativity, and how can you help them to do this?
Yeah, so I first started out because I recognized that there was a gap in the coaching world. So I noticed that a lot of the well-established coaches were talking, a lot about the personal development-y things, so love and happiness and, fulfilling your potential and finding your purpose and all that stuff. But I was realizing that they weren't quite resonating with me, and that was because, I come from a background of understanding a lot about systemic barriers and oppression and marginalization. And a lot of coaches, kind of shy away from that because it's like that political arena that nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to touch. And I think that you can't have honest conversations about love and about happiness unless you're talking about who has access to that in our world. And so I wanted to really bring that to the table. And so that's how I got started because I saw that there was a gap. And although I learned so much from these coaches, there wasn't someone who was completely resonating with me. And oftentimes that happens because
Mm-hmm.
no one is you.
Right.
So that's how I got started. That's why I started it. And, I realized that there are a lot of creative people out there who want to start their own thing, who don't want to work for, the man, who want to be their own boss and who, yeah, who want to be their own boss and who just want to, help people. And so I wanted to be able to really help people take action on their dreams in that way.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I honestly, I love your website and I think it's so cute and colorful and it's so you. And after I met you, I was like, okay, now there's no, there's no like, oh, you have a cool website, but you're not a cool person. And so many people have this, or they have
Yeah.
a really dry, kind of commercially website, but they're such a colorful person. I feel
Yeah.
like when it comes to your website, you were really able to put your personality and your personal like flair into the website itself.
Mm-hmm.
So Since you're a startup coach, I wanted to ask you, do you have any tips for somebody starting up their business or a project or a dream and creating an online presence through a website? Do you have any tips on how to set up a beautiful website?
Yeah, so I think the first one is to help. I think the first one is to consider your online space as your home, your virtual home.
Mhm.
Because when you consider it your home, or your home away from home, or your online home, whatever, you're going to want to decorate it. You're going to want to treat it the way you would treat your actual home.
Mhm.
And if you have a crappy website, if you don't have one that you're proud of, you're not going to want to visit people to, you're not going to want to extend an invitation for people to come visit.
Right.
It's like, if your house looks like an episode of Hoarders, you're not going to want people to come over.
No.
So don't do the same to your online presence. And so the first tip would be to just consider it your online space, your home. The second would be to consider how you want to feel when you enter that space. Because it's the way that you're presenting yourself to the world, and it's the way that's the thing that you're going to be on the most, right? You're going to always be putting content on your website. You're going to be creating online services. You're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff on your website. So you might as well love it while you're there. There are times when, like when I first created, I was like, oh my god, I just want to stay on my website all the time. And it was a really great space at that point because it generated creativity and made me want to produce content.
Mhm.
And then consider how you want other people to feel when they come into your space because, if you're using a lot of bright neon colors and like screaming at people, is that how you want people to feel when they come into your space? So really consider, how you want people to feel and interact with your website, and that will determine your layout, and that will determine the colors you use, and all those kinds of things.
Mm. Cool
Mm-hmm.
site. That's awesome. Thank you for that for those
Yeah,
tips. I love the simplicity of it, but then when you start thinking about it, it's actually two very deep questions. So,
yeah.
yeah, cool. And I guess lastly, I love your newsletters,
Thanks.
and everyone out there should sign up for Demetria's newsletters because they're so pretty and there's so much in it. You can really get a lot out of it. So maybe you can tell us how to sign up for the website and also how you make it, first of all, beautiful, like pretty, and then how do you get all this content in it, and how someone can go about planning a good newsletter.
Hmm. Yeah, so the first thing would be go to demetriajackson.com and sign up for my newsletter.
Awesome.
um, so how do you go back? Okay, so I decided I was doing, a newsletter where I was just putting in my content. And a lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I realized that when I was doing that, I was focused on me. Like it was just I realized that I was getting to a place, sometimes when we start with startups, um, we're kind of like, we're in a place of kind of desperation sometimes. So it's like, I really want to quit my job and I really want to be successful, and success equals money. I need to be making money. So, I need to push, push, push. And then when we have that kind of energy, it's very like, it's not a service mentality, right? It's a very me mentality, but it's hard to kind of get out because we do need the money. We do need to survive. But at the same time, we really want to serve. So I needed to kind of find a way to get myself out of that position. And so I decided that I was just going to give as much information as I possibly could to everyone, to anyone that I interacted with, and trust that, the universe has my back on that one.
Mhm.
And so I decided to change my newsletter, one, because I wasn't feeling inspired to share my information anymore.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, so I'm the type of person where something has to be visually appealing for me to want to buy it, or for me to want to um, produce content on it or whatever.
Yes.
Um, and so I came to this place where I was like, okay, I need to redo my newsletter. I need to just make sure that, everything's pretty, like I like it. So I did that first, and then I was inspired to create content. And what I really wanted to bring was other people's voices, other people's opinions, other people's creativity. Because, if I'm promoting creative entrepreneurs, and if I'm showing everyone that everyone's creative, no matter, how you channel your creativity, then I need to be able to show that I'm willing to support these people. And so it came from a place of, I'm ingesting, or I'm finding a lot of content online that I love, and I wanted to share that with others. So, I made sure that I had things that I found really cute, things that I found really funny, inspiring, helpful, and I wanted to make sure that I was sharing that with my audience as well as my own content. And the moment that I made that switch to, my primary focus is sharing like so much of other people's content, then I started to receive a lot of positive feedback about, the work that I was doing. And it was really interesting because it's like before I was only focusing on my work and I wasn't getting as much feedback as I am now about the work that I'm doing. So it's like, people really appreciate the fact that I'm willing to share other people's content and say, hey, these are also really amazing people in this world that I think you should know about and I think you should follow. Um, yeah, so it just came from like a really genuine place of just wanting to serve and wanting to get out of that money mentality and trust that, when that is supposed to happen, it will happen. You're
Right.
not going to be like an overnight success. And so it's like, it's a slow process, but you should enjoy the process while you have it.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, the newsletter and what you said about sharing and service, it's so important. And being willing to share other people's, like, to shine the light on others' good work it's empowering for yourself as well, I find. So I love it. Everyone, you guys need to sign up for this newsletter. It's really cute, and there's so much on it, and you'll get the best of the industry on it, basically, because Demetria's sharing it all.
Mhm.
Well, Demetria, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and be on the Lifester, and hopefully we will see a lot more of you in the near future.
Definitely.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.